The mysteries are out. Riot did an Oopsie and then they did another Oopsie. I'm Poppy the Yordle and you're watching Rift News. So here we are, almost a month after the last Rift News, which means that we've got a lot to cover, so why don't we get right into it? Let's start with what's happening to live servers first. The winter event ended a couple of days ago, and with it your dreams of getting a Poro pet. To my surprise, even though the event is gone, Nexus Blitz wasn't removed. You can still play it right now, which indicates that Riot realized that there is a massive audience for this game mode. I'm not sure if Riot wants to keep it up permanently with the occasional swap for other game modes, but this is a welcome surprise nonetheless. When it comes to skins on live, the Blood Moon skin line is up. This includes Blood Moon Sivir, Pike and Aatrox. It also includes an Oopsie the size of Australia, but we'll get to that later. A nice bonus for those of you who still care about more ward skins is a Blood Moon ward. But outside of the Blood Moon stuff, if you gathered enough gemstones you can spend them on Hextech Renekton, who is now also available. But by far the most important piece of news is that the Chicken Ward is on sale. Only 320 RP for Eternal Happiness. For now, that's it for live servers. But PBE already revealed the next batch of skins that will be coming in the next patch. Because the lunar event is coming, which is also known as Chinese New Year, we're getting a bunch of skins themed after this celebration. We got Firecracker Sejuani that's riding a massive pig, and there is even the option to summon even more tiny pigs. Then there is Firecracker Vayne, which is gonna be your typical Firecracker skin similar to Jinx. She also has a prestige version of this skin, but it doesn't say how you get it yet. I mean, we don't need to know. We can assume what will happen based on the Oopsie that I will explain. And the last lunar skin is Coin Emperor Kenj, which is by far the best one in this line. The R team really nailed this skin. But the same PBE build also revealed the Heartseeker skins that will be coming around Valentine's Day. We have Heartbreaker Vi and Heartpiercer Fiora. A nice detail about these is that their splash arts are parts of the same scene. Out of all the skins we just mentioned, Tahm Kench and Sejuani will be getting 6 chroma skins, Fiora and Vi will be getting 7 chroma skins, and Vayne doesn't get anything because she's cursed by prestige. On top of that, the older Chinese skins are also getting a golden version. Of course, those will be tied to the new loot system we'll get. I hope you didn't think there will be no loot. Of course, we get Lunar Rebel orbs, bags and tokens that you'll use on borders, icons, emotes and the golden chromas, including a golden chroma for this year's ward. This leads us to the new champion that will be released very close to this event. Sylas the Unshackled was revealed and he is now being tested on PBE. As we speculated in the previous video, just like Illaoi, we knew about Sylas because of the stories that were released weeks before his reveal. He's your typical bruiser with a catch. Only this time the catch is that Riot didn't have to design his ultimate, because his ultimate is everybody's ultimate. Yes, he can copy ultimates of his enemies, including stuff like Phoenix form. If you're interested in his lore, we already covered his stories in the last 2 videos. Now, we know he is coming with Lunar Revel because his skin is Lunar Wraith Sylas, which is a skin that will also get 6 chroma versions. By the way, just in case you forgot, any red or ruby versions of chroma skins are always exclusive to bundles, so unless you want to buy all of them, you can forget about the red ones. With the release of Sylas, we will also get his icon and emotes. Now, throughout this video, I may have come out as hostile towards prestige skins. Good. You know I'm a fan of League of Legends. If I didn't like this game, I wouldn't be making videos about it. Many of you also know that we are in the League Partner Program, but that doesn't mean I can't criticize Riot for bad decisions. Especially since those decisions can threaten the development of the game. Sometimes tough love is what will make you move forward, and I'll only be hard on Riot because I want them to do better. So, Riot revealed their new stance regarding prestige skins. They'll keep event-specific prestige skins in the game, so if you enjoyed grinding games for KD Akali or Kai'Sa, you'll enjoy even more grinding this year. But on top of that, Riot is bringing in yearly prestige skins. These won't disappear after a specific event. Instead, they will disappear at the beginning of next year. Those will be craftable for 100 prestige points, which is a new currency that also won't disappear with a specific event, but it will stay in your inventory till the end of the year. It all sounds fine, right? It almost sounds like Riot realized that people hated grinding games for tokens, so they gave us skins that you will be able to get eventually. You'll just have to save some points throughout the year. You know, like a reward for actually playing throughout the year. There will still be some of the skins available only during events, but those yearly prestige skins won't be pressured by time availability. So you're not forced into grinding games during a specific month. It sounds like a win for everyone. But there's a catch. You may remember that buying loot packs awarded you some bonus tokens to make the grind easier. In the past, I personally bought some of these packs for tokens, so I could even get the prestige skins. I did it for Kaisa during Worlds, and I did it for Akali during Christmas. That was simply because I didn't have enough time to play as much as I would need to, so grinding the tokens wasn't an option for me. To me, buying the packs was literally the only way to get them. And I know people who got the prestigious skins without buying additional packs that gave you tokens. So there was always the option to not buy extra stuff to get it. But with the Blood Moon skin, that's simply not the case. The only way to get it is by buying packs that have the prestigious points included in them. There is no other way of getting these prestigious points. You don't get them through missions, games, or even passes. Which is funny because prestige is something that should be earned, not bought. Even Call of Duty did it right. And because of this, I will not get the prestigious Aatrox, because I don't want to support this. Having these allegedly prestigious skins locked behind nothing but a paywall is ridiculous. Someone on Reddit did the math, and the cheapest way to get the skin is by spending $105 on loot. That is 4 times the price of an ultimate skin. And it's for a golden chroma. It's simply unacceptable, even for a game where skins are supposed to be bought with real money. What essentially happened is that Riot turned the new prestigious skins into the next Hextech exclusives. Only this time I don't have to buy packs in hopes of getting gemstones. At least I know how many I need to buy. Without sarcasm, Riot even admitted to this themselves. Now, I understand that this entire situation with the Aatrox skin was not intended. Riot mentioned that they are looking into other ways of obtaining the prestige points. Whether these other options will be a third gateway to gambling, or if we'll be able to get them through normal gameplay is a mystery. What's important is that those options are not in the game right now, when the skins are available. The problem lies in the fact that the prestige system wasn't ready. Riot is still figuring out how to distribute the points. But they still decided to release a skin that they know people can only get by spending $105 on the game. Riot, if your system isn't finished, don't test it on a skin that only 5% of your audience can afford. Finish the system first and let people get it through hard dedication if they want to. That is what prestige skins were about from the beginning. But wait a second. I mentioned 2 oopsies at the beginning of this video. That's right, the story doesn't end. I have to clarify it right now, I'm not salty about it, but the second oopsie was hilariously enormous. When the first capsule bundles were released, right when the servers went up, for about 20 minutes on some servers, I believe it was only 2 minutes for EU, people were able to get the bundles for 1 blue essence. This is how it works on PBE, but somehow it went through to live servers. So, not only were people salty because of the golden chroma for $105, now the salty floodgates opened as some people were able to get the skin for free. And about 350 skin shards on top of that. Some went up to thousands. And yes, Riot didn't revert the loot. So some people legitimately got every skin in the game, just for logging into the game early. Again, I'm not salty about it, but boy is this a reward for the people who supported Riot with thousands of dollars when League was small. As of the recording of this video, 10 hours later, Riot still did nothing about it. The logical thing would be to revert all accounts back to a state before the patch. But I don't know if Riot can do that. I don't think they take snapshots of people's accounts before patches. Anyway, the people who got the skins know it was an exploit. Will they really be as salty as the rest of your community if you take it away? I wonder what Riot does next. Personally, I don't care about it that much, but the fix is really easy and it calms down those who are salty. So I don't see where the problem is. Just a quick note from the future. Yesterday we got an explanation as to why they are reversing the prestige points but not the capsules. They confirmed that Riot doesn't use account snapshots, so there is no way to revert accounts to a previous state. The only way to fix something like this would be to manually take away what people got. So they can take away the prestige points and all the Aatrox skins. They can just issue a command to delete those from all accounts. But capsules give you random loot, which many players disenchant for orange essence, so you can't get rid of that easily. The only reassuring thing is that apparently in many regions less than 100 players abuse this. And I quote, in many regions. So in the big ones like EU West or NA, the numbers can still be up in thousands. Essentially, the fact that Riot explained why they let abusers run away with thousands of dollars worth of stuff doesn't make it fair. Especially since you know there will be at least one person who sells that account on eBay. But that's enough of salt for one day. Let's now have a look at some of the posts we got from Riot. But before we get to Nexus, which now has a brand new design, I quickly want to mention that the next issue of the Freljordian comics is coming on the 16th of January. That is in less than a week. But now, let's have a look at a post regarding the stats from Odyssey. Odyssey was definitely my favorite League event ever. It offered good gameplay, nice variety of playstyles, and once you got a group together it felt like a brand new game. So you know I'm excited for the numbers you're about to see. First, Riot revealed the win rates. These graphs show how many augments team used and what their win rate was. For example, people pretty much got through the intro no matter how many augments they had. Obviously. But as the difficulty went up, augments became essential. On crew difficulty you had 90% chance to win with 5 augments, but only 40% if you didn't use any. Looking at onslaught, no matter what you did, the win rate was always below 10%. And remember that the hardest achievement of Odyssey was to complete onslaught with 2 or less augments. That would be this one, which is below 3% win rate. We also got champion play rates. To no one's surprise, Yasuo was played the most. That was likely because he's Yasuo and also because of the Tempest build that allowed you to fire dozens of giant tornadoes. Here we can also see the exact point where the Ziggs W exploit was found and then when it was nerfed. When it comes to missions, interestingly enough, the hardest one wasn't the least completed. 2.9% of player base completed the hardest one, but the mission that required you to play as a team of only Ziggs or Sona was completed by 2.1% of player base, making it the least completed mission of all, despite it being easier. Then Riot mentioned an interesting build. Did you know that Sona's damage reduction stacks? I didn't, but those who knew realized that having 5 25% damage reductions meant that Kayn did no damage. Lastly, the team with the highest score in the world completed Onslaught with 4 augments spread across the entire team. They had Sona without augments, 2 Yasuos without augments, 1 Yasuo with Tempest Wandering, and a Malphite with Relentless Onslaught. At the end of the post, Riot said that they will see us next year, which I hope means that Odyssey will return in 2019. And now the last part of this video, Ask Riot. This time around we got 5 extremely interesting questions and 1 dumb. I'll let you assume which one is a dumb one as we dive right in. Does Sion stink? Like the smell of death and decay? What about Yorick or Kalista? The summed up answer by Intellectioneer is Sion doesn't smell like a corpse. If something dies, the smell after a week is unbearable, but after a while it will go away. The same happened to Sion now. He smells more of cold steel and ash of the battlefield. Yorick isn't technically dead because of the holy water on his neck, so he is fine-ish. And Kalista is a ghost, and ghosts don't have smell. Is the world called Runeterra because of all the runes there used to be? Are our current runes tied to the runes found in Runeterra in any way? A simple answer by Skethlog. Yes, Runeterra is named Rune World because of world runes. He also revealed that Celestials used these world runes to create a new plane of existence. But something happened and the new plane was left incomplete. Now the runes are scattered and hidden within the world they created. This is likely a reference to Soraka's story, which we will cover next time. And no, the in-game runes are just a reference to runic magic. Where did pigs come from? Gelbak revealed that Bandle City isn't the only place in the spirit realm, so there is also a place where fairies come from. Apparently, Lulu asked Pix where he comes from many times, but she never got an answer. Are there weddings in Runeterra? What are the features of the various factions? Any interesting traditions? Again, an answer by Skethlog. In Freljord, marriage is all about strong allegiances. War mothers usually bound with strong allied armies, so power plays a massive part there. In Ionia, marriage isn't necessary for 2 beings to raise children together. In those lands, it's more of a symbolic bond that ties their souls together. And in Noxus, before Swain started the Triforix, Noxian houses wanted to keep their bloodlines alive. Fancy weddings were pointless. So there it was more about binding houses together and proving that their bloodline is strong. But now that Swain took over the city, traditions are changing. Does Darius like his brother Draven? Or does he think he's an idiot? Quick answer by Dinopulse. Once, Darius tried to restrain Draven's showmanship, but now he instead directs his skills to become a useful weapon in battle. And now, the last question. In an August Ask Riot, you mentioned Freljordians would love to herd Poros. Herding them would hint that they have an economic use. What would that be? Do they shear them for their wool? What would a bald Poro look like? Quick answer by Riot Machow. Poros don't have an economic use. People would like to herd them simply because they would be surrounded by those fluffy creatures. In a world that's all about hardcore survival, who wouldn't have that job instead? That's unless they find a different use for Poros.
That's the cutest fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Hey, did you know that we have social media and Twitch where we talk about other League facts and stories? And did you know that we have need mugs and shirts too? The links to all of that will be below. And as always, Thank you, come again.